allow these sort of free buyouts after what has happened this season, similar to what the Rangers were able to do with Brad Richards. So you wonder if that's how it ends up with Mark Stahl. So I really love what he did at the end of the year. He's been a phenomenal Ranger. He's literally given his eyesight for this organization. He's gone through all the concussions. If Paulie again, we've been around. We saw Mark Stahl when he first came up. His
I couldn't
battles
remember
with
his name though a few minutes ago.
That's all right.
And none of his teammates.
That's right. His battles with Ovechkin early in his career were phenomenal, and he usually came out on top in those battles to show you how good of a player he was back then. Before again the concussions and he lost his vision. So you'd like to see him end his career on a high note with the Rangers and finish out his contract. But look, you can't get emotional with these decisions. And if Gordon and JD feel as though the cap space is more important, then that's the way they should go. So, we'll see what happens. I am happy for Stahl with the way that the season ended, because it looked like it was going bad for him in December, and he was really able to turn it around. So that's great. As far as Lundqvist goes, I mean, very, very sort of similar in seeing how his Ranger career is sort of winding down here. It's just not what we all thought. I mean, a couple of years ago, this guy was going to have this great exit, as this great all-time Ranger, and for him to be spending what could potentially be his last moments, his last months in a Ranger uniform, sitting on the bench, is just a tough, pill, I think, for a lot of Ranger fans to swallow. Now, look, it's the situation that presented itself. I don't blame Quinn for it happening. I don't blame Gordon or JD or whatever you want to do. I mean, look, a guy like Shesterkin came up. A guy like Georgiev is there. We all would have liked the circumstance to be a little bit different. Maybe they only had Georgiev, or maybe they only have Shesterkin, and it could have been sort of a backup role where you got him in. But it just played out that way, and it's just unfair to him, and just that he's done so much for this organization and put this organization on his back, and brought them back from the abyss of where they were in those 8 years of playoffless seasons and just misery that we all went through. And then to bring us to the Cup and these three Eastern Conference Finals and all the great moments that we've had for him, it's tough, man. It's tough. And if somehow, because of the way the season ended with the virus, if this is how his career ends, I mean, it really is. It's almost tragic. If the Rangers have to end up buying him out in the offseason.
He's still a multimillionaire. It's all right.
I get it, man. But you know what? I mean, and I know you're joking, but, and that's great. You could look at his bank account to make himself feel better. But I guess.
No, as an athlete, as a player,
yeah,
100%, I agree with you. Yes.
And he, look, the Rangers offered him the chance to leave. When they wrote the letter, they said, look, this is what we're doing. If you don't want to be here, that's okay. We'll accommodate you, and we'll get you where you want to go. And he wanted to be here. He wanted to win in New York. He wanted, to be a part of the rebuild, and hopefully maybe be a part of what happens after the rebuild, and didn't want to leave. Similar to David Wright when he was with the Mets and they had that real downtime. He stayed. He didn't go. He didn't ask for a trade.
Stop bringing up the Mets on my hockey show.
Hey, let's go. I'm trying to bring in all sport. I'm trying to get everybody happy. Think about sports. It worked out for him where the Mets had gotten to the point where they made the World Series against Kansas City. I'm assuming, Lundqvist was thinking along those lines. Like, let's get through the rebuild, and maybe in my last 2 years we'll be contending again. Shesterkin will be my backup, and then we'll sort of give it to him after I retire and have this great send off. But, it doesn't work that way sometimes. I mean, you had obviously Jockerman and with the Rangers having to trade him, it just doesn't always end the way you wanted. Mike Richter had to retire early with all his concussions. That's just not the ending. A guy who was my favorite player, that we wanted for him. He had many more years of hockey left in him, and he had better years and should have ended his career, much higher on win lists and things like that. But look, it doesn't always work out that way, and it is tough to see. I have no idea in what direction the Rangers are going to go in this offseason. I mean, they have these two just young, talented goaltenders, and if you're looking at it from an unemotional standpoint, which I think you have to do, I mean, you got to keep Georgiev and Shesterkin around, and if trading Lundqvist is the way to go, then and he allows them to, and he waives no trade, I hope it works out for him. But if they need to buy him out, they may need to do it for the good of the franchise. We're fans. It's always about the front of the jersey, not the back. And it'll be a tough thing to see him go, whether it's a buyout or a trade. So, I like you said, he was such a professional during it, though. During what is a tough situation, the three-headed goalie monster, which I just abhorred. I just hated it. But not a single negative word from him. Nothing towards Quinn, nothing towards Gordon, nothing towards the organization. Kept his mouth shut, sat on the bench and took it. And that's who he is. And I've earned even more respect. Not that I thought I could, but I earned even more respect for the guy over the last couple of months.
Yeah, well said there, KD. I love it, man. Yeah, it's going to be...
Did I go on too much?
No. For Hank...
Too much claw.
No. Hank deserves every sentence you can give him, man, especially at this point. Like I said, it's going to be very weird to see how this thing wraps up, because we didn't get to see the rest of this season, and we might not get to see the rest of this season, which is just a scary thought to think about, but it is reality. But anyway, Hank, thank you. And Mark, thank you. And we'll see what happens from here on out. And the rest of the squad, though, looking at your grades here, KD, and this is all pretty good. Not a lot of negatives. I mean, obviously, Kako is just, he's dragging the team down. Just really been an anchor on this team this year.
The only negative. Maybe they should move him. Maybe they should buy him out.
It's all good. All right, pal. Well, we thought we weren't going to have much to talk about, and we ran through the whole team. And maybe what we'll do next week is we'll look at the top of the staff, and we'll also see if we get any news here, and hopefully it's just all positive stuff for everybody going forward. But as far as the fans here and everybody tuning in, we're going to keep this thing going, and we'll find a way, and we'll reach out to you guys too, and we'll see what happens. And if we all do have to stay inside, KD, we might as well listen and talk to each other for a little bit and keep it sanity. And I just hope one day I'm not here going, "Is there anybody out there?" If you knock on my outside pipes 3 times.
Look, the idea of podcasts and these type of things is to distract people from the regular life and everything that's going on, the tough times that they're having, and now is I think a time where we need some distractions. Hopefully, we could be that for people, Ranger fans who are looking for to get their mind off of everything that's going on, whether it's them losing their jobs or a loved one dealing with this virus or whatever it is. And we just want to have fun here. Hopefully we can get you laughing a little bit, thinking about the Rangers and all the fun moments that we had this year. Again, to get your mind off things and cause we all need that right now. We're going through a tough time, right now, some harder than others. And look, if we could just put a smile on 1 or 2 people's face, I'll be happy about it.
Good stuff, man. So do we want to wrap this show up with we have to do it, man. KD Rangers Man Crush. You got to give me something. You can go on the front lines, everybody out there taking care of people, whatever you want, KD, but give us something. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I was going to say everybody in the medical field who's out there just, helping people deal with this virus who are then, contracting, getting infected themselves and contracting this virus themselves and dealing with it anyway. They're dealing with long shifts. They're dealing with, they have families at home and they're isolating themselves from their families. So My man crush goes out to the men and women in the medical field who are literally putting their lives on the line. Some of them to keep us safe, to keep us healthy, and getting us through a tough period right now. So kudos to them, and they deserve all of our thoughts, prayers, and accolades, whatever we want to give them. And we thank you.
Absolutely, and we also got to send a shout out. For me, I'd like to thank the people still working at White Claw to keep. Katie's going to need his supply.
That's right.
So I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny. But man, are they going to have to keep up with alcohol demand here as we go further and further with this thing?
That's also, I tweeted out before. I had to wrestle somebody for the 12-pack I've been drinking tonight, and it was the last one. We both eyed it, and then we eyed each other, and forget it.
Oh man! Look, everybody, hang in there, stay grounded, and just keep talking and keep listening. And everybody's listened to this episode and who does listen to it, hit us up on Twitter at Go Rangers Radio. Let's keep the conversation going during the week. We'll come back here next week, and we'll continue to have some more fun. Give us some ideas. Tell us if you guys want to talk about some stuff, some Rangers memories, and maybe beyond next week or two, if this thing goes further, KD, maybe we will have some fun and get some fans involved in the show. What the heck? We got nothing. There's nothing else going on. But anyway, we'll throw it all out there. But we will say goodnight. This is our official longest show of the season. Go figure. And there ain't no hockey going on.
There we go. There you go. Yeah. And one piece of advice, everybody out there. Let me give some advice, but everyone, don't hoard the toilet paper, all right?
It's too late.
Just one pack and go. We all need our toilet paper. I'm getting sick of using this construction paper down there. I'm chafing.
I don't need that thought before I go to bed here, buddy. KD, love you, man. Say goodbye to the folks.
Bye, folks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much, especially for this long one, and for coming back with no hockey and listening to Go Rangers Radio. And I'll still say it even though they're not playing. As always, let's go Rangers!